Hello everyone! Tea Club members are pleased to see you again. Today I will have a demo lesson with imaginary students. We will show you how to teach grammar using guided discovery method in the 7th grades. Please open your books on pages 31-33, Unit 3, Lesson 3 and follow me. While watching the lesson, please think about how we can teach reading. Let's go to the class with me. Hello friends, how are you? Hope you are fine. Let's start our lesson. Please look at the picture. What are the children in the picture doing? Right, they are all using their mobile phones. Probably most of you have mobile phones, laptops or iPads. We cannot imagine our lives without telephones, laptops and computers. Where do people access the internet nowadays? According to statistics, people access the internet through mobile phones, 52%, laptops and desktops, 43%, tablets, 4%, and other devices such as gaming consoles, 0.14%. How do you get online? If you ask me, I access the internet mostly through my mobile phone. If you look at this chart, you can see that the amount of time spending on social media is increasing from year to year. As you may see, in 2019, people spent on social networking in average 153 hours per day, which is about 2.5 hours. How often do you look at the screen of your telephone, laptop, iPad or TV a day? If you look at the screen of your telephone or laptop at least 9 times a day, you are technology addicted. If you ask me, I look at the screen in average 20 times a day. Do you think you are technology addicted? I think I am. Do you know what addiction is? It's when you cannot stop doing something, especially something harmful. For example, playing computer or video games, surfing the internet, or using your mobile phones. If you do something very often and can't stop doing it, is it addiction? Yes, it is. Is addiction something positive and useful? No, it's not. Now please repeat after me. Addiction. Addiction. Once more, addiction. As you may have already guessed, today we are going to talk about addiction, teenagers' addiction. Please match the words from 2 columns to create collocations. For example, be addicted to electronic gadgets, C. What about the rest of the collocations? Let's check together. Be addicted to electronic gadgets, C. Surf the internet, E. Waste one's time doing nothing, A. Social life, B. Has a good time, D. Talk to somebody, G. Get information, F. Please put the collocations into sentences. For example, Janat has a good time with her friends at parties. What about the rest of the sentences? Let's check the answers. Janat has a good time with her friends at parties. She has an active social life. I want to talk to somebody who can help me. People surf the internet for hours, reading interesting articles, watching movies, or listening to music. Reading book is a good way to get information. Bolotbek wasted time doing nothing when his parents were at work. Lots of parents complain that their children are addicted to electronic gadgets. Work with your classmate and discuss the questions. How do you spend your free time? What are teenagers addicted to nowadays? Do you think you are addicted to your mobile phone, laptop, and other electronic gadgets? How do you know if you have internet addiction? How do you prevent internet addiction? Let's discuss the questions together. How do you spend your free time? Probably you surf the internet, listen to music, or read books. What are teenagers addicted to nowadays? Probably it's mobile phone, laptop, and other electronic gadgets. Do you think you are addicted to your mobile phone, laptop, and other electronic gadgets? Probably yes, as we have mentioned above. How do you know if you have internet addiction? Probably you spend a lot of time surfing the internet whenever you have free time. How do you prevent internet addiction? Maybe spend time with your family, friends, or find some interesting hobby. You are going to read the online discussion. Please read the text and answer the question which addiction is mentioned in the text. Right. Addiction to telephone and laptop. Please read the online discussion again. Who do you agree with the most? You may have different answers. Please read the text. Are the statements true or false? Correct the false statements. For example, Typhoon's parents are happy with him. It's false. Typhoon's parents are angry with him because he spends all his time surfing the internet. What about the rest of the sentences? Let's check the answers. Typhoon's parents are happy with him. False. Typhoon's parents are angry with him because he spends all his time surfing the internet. Typhoon is writing to ask for advice. It's true. Beauty and Super Sweet agree with Boss. It's false. They disagree with both. Boss supports Typhoon. It's true. Super Sweet advises Typhoon to talk to his parents. It's false. Super Sweet advises him to play sports and have real friends. Please discuss the questions with your classmate. What advice can you give to Typhoon? Do you know anyone who is addicted to cyberspace? Why is it bad to be addicted to cyberspace? By the way, do you know what cyberspace is? It is the internet, which is an imaginary area without limits, where you can meet people and find information about any subject. In other words, it is internet. Let's discuss together. What advice can you give to Typhoon? Probably you suggest not to give up his hobby or play sports and have real friends. Do you know anyone who is addicted to cyberspace? You may mention your friends or even yourself. Why is it bad to be addicted to cyberspace? Probably because you won't have any real friends, real communication, and real life. Thank you for your great ideas. This is the end of the lesson, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Dear teachers, let's start our discussion. As you might see, today I had another idea of the lead-in activity. I tried to raise students' interest through discussion about using social media and providing some statistics about people using mobile phones and social networking. Students seem to like it and get really interested in the topic since it was the topic that is up to date and familiar to students. Through eliciting the number of hours they spent online and how many times they look at the screen, I wanted to give them the idea of technology addiction as a type of teenagers' addiction, which is the topic of today's lesson. What was next? Let's discuss the steps of my lesson. First, I introduced the topic through the discussion about teenagers' addiction. Then, I provided some collocations from the text so students matched the halves of the collocations. Then, they had some exercises with the collocations. They completed the sentences using them. I did that because I wanted to make sure that my students are able to understand the text. They also worked in groups and discussed such questions as: how do they spend their free time? What are teenagers addicted to nowadays? Whether they are addicted to their mobile phone, laptop, and other electronic gadgets. They also were introduced to some types of addiction, such as computer games addiction, mobile phone addiction. All this was done for the sake of my students, to help them to better understand what teenagers' addiction is. All these activities are part of pre-reading stage. Then, students read the online discussion and found out what addictions are mentioned in the text. They didn't have many questions, only one, because they read the text for the first time to have general idea about the addiction. This type of reading is called skimming. Then they read the text for the second time and answered the question, who do they agree with the most? This time, students read the text to know the details of the text. This type of reading is called scanning, reading for details. Then, students read the text again and answered whether the statements are true or false. Students read the text again to know the details of the text. You may have probably noticed that I gave them the questions prior to asking them to read the text. Do you know why? If I gave the questions before they read the text, they wouldn't have purpose for reading. Whenever you ask students to read the text, they need to have a purpose or task for reading. Otherwise, students may not get focused on the text. They may look at it without any comprehension. Do you remember I mentioned that I was going to show how to teach grammar using guided discovery method? But students only read the text. I will show grammar presentation during my next lesson. Today, it was a pre-stage of guided discovery method of grammar presentation. I look forward to sharing with you more ideas. See you next time.